Being the last film to watch before Avengers Infinity War, how does this movie hold up, and is it better than the first film? Let's find out in the review. Welcome back to the channel. This is Let's Be Real Brad. I talk about movies, TV shows, and do all sorts of fun and exciting videos on the channel. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and hit that notification bell so I get to see you all in the upcoming video. Today on our MCU weekly reviews, we will be talking about the 20th film in chronological order with 2018's Ant-Man and the Wasp. It is directed by Peyton Reed, with Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly returning as Ant-Man and the Wasp. Other returning cast members also include Michael Douglas, Michael Pena, and new actors with Walter Goggins, Lawrence Fishburne, Hannah John Heyman, and Michelle Pfeiffer. This film is about Scott Lang as he balances being both a superhero and a father. Hope Van Dyne and Dr. Hank Pym present an urgent new mission that finds Ant-Man fighting alongside the Wasp to uncover secrets from their past. I have seen this film 4 times now, with the first 3 being in the theater all within the same year. Now that I've seen it a couple years later, I had a lot of fun with this film. Watching this film in chronological order made this movie so much better for me, as many of my criticisms related to its placement of release being right after the best MCU film, Avengers Infinity War. So going from that all the way to this being its own fun comedy adventure became very underwhelming to me. So without further ado, let's dive right into this review, starting with the acting. Paul Rudd is always a hilarious and very likable presence in every movie he is in, being no exception here. He is a big reason why this film works, because he really makes you care about this character and be on the journey with him. He is even funnier in this film, feeling very loose and free to do what he wants. Evangeline Lilly gets a much more significant role in this one, an awesome modern day female superhero being what this franchise has been in desperate need of. I thought she was the best character in the movie, given a ton of time to shine in this one with the action and more dramatic moments. Everyone else in the film is quite solid, showing good performances. The writing is okay in this one, as I think the humor works very well in this movie. I laughed quite a bit more than I had initially remembered, as I found a lot of the creative style in the first one carried over into this one. The dialogue is some basic Marvel stuff that we are used to hearing from, which was expected after getting that in the first film. I really enjoy how they can write and how they can get super creative with these action scenes, because there's so much you can do with these characters and their shrinking abilities. This happens a lot more in the third act, which I thought was very enjoyable and highly entertaining. I also enjoyed the story in this one being a fun sequel that really doesn't take itself seriously, but it does in its more emotional moments that I thought worked surprisingly well. It's not going for anything big or extravagant, so it doesn't make for a great story, but I like the idea of being very complicated and there are no true villains of the film in a way, as they are just a bunch of antagonists. I think the visual effects look decent, even though this isn't a visual effects showcase extravaganza like many other films in the franchise. I thought it all looked pretty good, especially toward the third act of the film when it was on full display. I think it looked a tad bit better than the first film. Now, let's get into some negatives, starting with being a baseline Marvel film. I found this to be so disappointing, especially since this issue was one of my main complaints from the first Ant-Man film. I wanted a lot more emotion and character development in this one, like many other Marvel sequels have done, but this one didn't really have that. The direction, cinematography, and editing are all quite dull and don't add much to this movie. Cinematography is very bland, offering no creative look or presentation to the film. I also found the music to be one of the most forgettable and bland of the whole franchise that added nothing to the film. My second negative is that while this film is quite funny, many jokes completely miss the mark and were not very creative or exciting. It does feel like they are trying so hard to make the film be super funny, but it becomes becomes very predictable and obvious. This seems to feel like a common trend in all these Marvel films on rewatch, but I'm glad this film was hilarious. Overall, I had an enjoyable time with this movie as it is a solid sequel that does expand on the universe and its characters while also offering all the hilarious, silly, and goofy jokes and tone we got from the first film. At times, I enjoyed this movie more than the first one, but I think they're on the same level, so if you enjoyed that first one, then definitely check this one out. I am giving Ant-Man and the Wasp a 6 out of 10. So, have you seen Ant-Man and the Wasp? If you have, what do you think of the film and where does it rank in your MCU rankings? In 2 weeks, we will be talking about the next film in the franchise, one of my favorite movies of all time, Avengers Infinity War. So be sure to check out the film before next week's review. As always, I will see you all in the following video.